Every cell has its own CRISPR and can reconfigure into whatever it wants.
Oh, on an individual level. If you moved your fingers to being chopsticks, would they be in the position of fingers holding chopsticks, or would they become some other kind of position which is the chopstick itself?
Of course you'd want to, pull your CRISPR out and get some, self-restructuring going on, wouldn't you? Put some orders down, reprogram the CRISPR. Wouldn't mind some cat ears this week, if you can get around to it, slowly just building.
I always think that everything I observe suggests that a kind of only forward rule. So
Yeah,
I suspect you could get
Well, I
cat
guess
ears
if
or
you're
something.
going to grow them, you're going to make them permanent, aren't you?
Yeah, we would not be able to.
You definitely want to be able through them and have them move around and be all twitchy and cute and stuff.
Genetically, I think you'd have to move forward, wouldn't you? I suppose not. So if you're CRISPRing, you could possibly just cut the ears in and out as desired.
Whip.
And potentially just grow them out. So it actually stimulates, for example,
Real-time CRISPRing.
the cells. It just stimulates the cells on the
Some
side.
real-time CRISPRing going on.
And just starts stem celling out and reprogramming them.
Every
with RNA
cell
to
has
be
its own CRISPR and can reconfigure into whatever it wants.
Oh, on an individual level.
Need more liver? You get some in your toe.
Oh, bonus toe
liver. Toe liver.
Toe liver. It just starts to
Decentralise everything.
If you've just got too much
have
alcohol,
100 little hearts. That'd be cool.
it starts protecting your brain by just building a liver.
Someone
just
punching
like
you in the
literally
chest.
your neck.
Or punching you in the hand or something. You broke one of my hearts. What are you talking about? You just had to reconfigure it somewhere else.
Yeah. Where else? I see. Yes. If you could have just
Too
like more
hard a handshake.
pancreas.
You know what I mean? No. Relocatable.
And would it like sort of do more efficient things? Like, say, for example, if you just ate more meat, would it just start to reduce the length of your intestinal tract or something like that? As an example, like sort of
Drop it
go
back
to
a little
maximum
bit.
modifications. Like, how far does this go?
Pull back so that it doesn't have to
Live
sit and
design.
rot. It doesn't have to sit and rot for so long. It can just get the protein out of it and then dump the carcassy bit at the end.
Could you choose to have the statistical average so that you just have like what most people have as sort of, so you could have like the common set?
Oh yeah, like the preset,
like the normal,
normal range rather than the elongated or the shortened, too short.
Just totally.
But if you needed to, like if you need to go on like a fat blaster, then you just do the full tightening all the way to the shortest possible route, and it's just basically you're putting it in your mouth and it's coming out your ass. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just seeing this whole, like the poses, but imagine like this sort of like this real-time CRISPR genetic altering sort of subspecies that are hooked up to sort of a genetic database, and so or sort of whatever
they can totally reprogram to whatever
the pure average. And so like let's say like if the humanity was getting fatter, as an example, then they would just get fatter. But they were always the middle
Noticed
point.
a lack of gingers, so that the ginger gland.
Yeah.
That's it.
Intentionally like creating more of
crafting themselves to be redheads and
yes, for example,
freckle white skin, green eyes,
recoding to be that, and then seeking and wanting to breed, like actually like it's sort of like actually wanting to have, and people being proud to be like genetically like not needing to be recoded, like because they are as a result of the breeding program. Like that's some like glory eugenics there. Look at that. That's empowering,
straight, man.
empowering.
Get it right. Get it right, and then just lock it in.
Yeah. Just get that red green-eyed freckled bonus.
Hey, Tyrell Corporation would be proud of you. That's what they would. They would. You'd be getting awards. You'd be getting awards for the the engineering feats that you've completed.
The perfect eyes, the emerald eyes. Could you actually like go further than that, where you not just have like the color emerald in the eye, but you start to sort of like develop like sort of like crystallines, and you actually have literal emeralds growing.
Oh, like jewels. Yeah, adjusting the actual
so you have like small crystals,
whatever the color part of it is. Yeah. That's
so
it.
you have like the scintillating
just
kind
have
of like
sparkling all different colors. That's it.
In your eye.
Scintillating eyes. Just tripping people
Actually,
out. People shying away, unable
pure
to
emerald.
look.
That's it. Just so, beyond. That would look good.
It's just beyond green. Green plus.
Yeah, like it's like like there's these butterflies, I think the monarchs with the blue. It's iridescent. And it's actually these pyramidal structures, the pyramids that just
flick between the light.
Special light.
They
Reflecting
use
the light in a
paint
special
jobs
way.
on colours and stuff.
Yeah. Having that inside your eyes.
Special hit it, and it just like that's it.
Swirl
rainbow or Insta rainbow.
Oh, flavor of the week. That's what you want,
Down some nice kuch.
Making sure you're looking fantastic.
Spliffing harder than Marley, I tell you.
Would you sort of foresee in a kind of genetic engine, like that sort of genetic, like live CRISPRing kind of way, where we do get to that part where, for example, you've got modifiable fingers. So each one of your fingers, for example, could become a different kind of shape or
to suit purpose or whatever.
Or
cutlery fingers.
As
an example.
For example, cutlery fingers.
Cutlery fingers.
And they could blend together. So, for example, like how writing's handy with two fingers, like more than one, it's kind of, but two is kind of like maybe two is kind of like an interesting way instead of one. But two, you kind of write in a sort of flat way. So maybe, but if you join two together, then they could like get elongated almost or become like a longer one, or like sort of have more functionality because there's more
more precise
cells.
Control over things. Yeah.
So you have like two becoming a longer finger almost.
Long finger. Yeah, I
Long
like that
finger,
idea.
Yes, and then so yes, if you wanted, depending on thickness, basically what I'm trying to say is like I guess in a sense, and
Well, depending on what your role was, I mean, to have the necessity for a long finger, I mean, it's whichever role you were.
how would you actually turn your fingers into chopsticks?
Well, don't you just do that when you do the little scissoring action with your
Would you basically your thumb and your
index and
forefinger
your middle
become
finger?
well?
Isn't that sort of automatic chopsticks? If you don't have chopsticks, you got your fingers rather than grabbing the food and shoving it in your mouth. You can always chopstick with your.
I think it'd be your thumb and your forefinger, wouldn't it? And they would grow
Something
long.
like that, yeah.
They would grow
Thumb and
long.
forefinger. Yeah.
Well, the third, your middle finger is actually a supporting finger. It actually you rest the thumb.
Or maybe it would be like curl around one of the other fingers to create more support, like when it interwove with the other finger to create the stronger chopstick or whatever.
One's a static and one's a moving. I just wonder if you'd bother with the static anymore. If you could just use your two
one
fingers.
would be curled around to keep the shape of the, you know what I mean, like the initial pointer, I guess.
But that's what, if you moved your fingers to being chopsticks, would they be in the position of fingers holding chopsticks, or would they become some other kind of position which is the chopstick itself? I think they'd become the chopstick, wouldn't they?
Well, if you had fingers that could change,
you know what I mean?
you just have, if you had most of those meals, you wouldn't have a chopstick. You know what I mean? The way they fight over the food, you'd have like a ladle or something.
A ladle.
So your hand ladles.
Just becomes just a shovel, like a scooping.
Like a big
Just get that the nutrients in as fast as you can. It's just collecting.
Bucket loaders, just scooping it straight into the gob.
Okay, just imagine, for example, like let's say you can become cutlery, so you become a fork. So one of your fingers becomes a fork.
Yep.
But if you just make a fork end appear on the end of your finger, that's not a very handy fork.
Well, at the time it might be. Like if you just had something there and you wanted to eat it real quick and you couldn't be bothered buying a cutlery, you could just stab it with a little finger.
But just if you visualize it for a
remember,
moment.
you're going to get your finger dirty by pushing it into the food or scooping up the food. You're going to get your hands dirty anyway, so you got to wash your hands.
Well, you would, but I mean that's good to do. So, but the way that you hold a fork to pick up food versus necessarily where the fork is. Well, I guess I've got a fork in my hand.
I think you're just going to adjust automatically. Si, to me, wherever the forky thing is, as long as it's got the food on it and you stabbed into it or scooped it up, then basically it's just coordinating it to get it in your mouth. It's whatever's going to be easiest to get it in your mouth, isn't it?
One of the
most
powers,
convenient to be able to tip it, equivalently to what you would normally do with that implement.
So I have a fork in my hand, and you could, in the way you could have the fork hand sticking out, like your finger morph into a fork, but you'd have to have a kind of almost a swiveling end part, because the thing that you can do with a fork
is twirl it around and
twirl
do
it. So you can kind of do this kind of turning and positioning thing, where if you had it just as an end of a finger, that would be a little hard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Its position would be how you could rotate your wrist and your rest of your arm around it.
I think you would need a mini wrist. I think you would need to have your fingers
like a double wrist.
A double wrist, a mini wrist, So a second wrist.
Second rotator.
So each finger can become a wrist itself, and just so you can control that mentally, just normally, so that it just turns.
Well, you tilt it one way or the other. It's basically one direction or the other. You know what I mean? Because that's normally what you do.
Yes.
And then you'd move your rest of your hand to the level of what the food is to get it in the bowl. You scoop it.
I think even it's also with a larger knife. Probably what would happen is say two of your fingers would become the knife, and then you would use kind of like your thumb. Because I think even with a knife.
Oh, to try and do it with one-handed eating.
Yeah, to be imagine being a one-handed chopper.
Utensil eater. Yeah.
Like if you were
being able to cut, move your fingers up and down so you can slicing action with the knife, and then the fork being able to sort of come down and stab into it, and then to guide, move the knife away and then guide the food into your mouth with your double wrist twisting around to direct it in. Extra tasty, mate.
Yeah.
Now that's a hell of a cybernetic expansion.
That would be. It would be very with the real-time crispering.
Yeah, that's it. The full 2070 generation.
That's it. So you're bioroids. You're not just
essentially
androids where you're fully organic machines.
It'd be similar to the whole the weapon maker character where it could mold its arms and stuff into weapons. Yeah.
Oh, it's like a T1000 type thing.
Moldable metal type.
Yeah.
Nano changeable.
Yeah. Where for us at the moment, we'd probably become more bone, sort of with sinew and stuff just
Cheep, real slunk is cheap
it'd become more
a shell upgrade is what we really need. We don't have bone strength. We can carbon our strength and solid. Maybe that's what damage.